Okay, tonight is the 9th of August, and we come to Majjhima Nikaya Sutta number 50. Maratajjaniya Sutta, the rebuke to Mara. Thus have I heard. On one occasion, the Venerable Mahamoggallana was living in the Baga country, Aksung Sun Maragira, in the Besa Kala Grove, the deer park. On that occasion, the Venerable Mahamoggallana was walking up and down in the open. And on that occasion, Mara, the evil one, went into the Venerable Mahamoggallana's belly and entered his bowels. Then the Venerable Mahamoggallana considered thus, "Why is my belly so heavy? One would think it full of beans." Thus he left the walk and went into his dwelling, where he sat down on a seat made ready. When he had sat down, he gave thorough attention to himself, and he saw that Mara, the evil one, had gone into his belly and had entered his bowels. When he saw this, he said, "Come out, evil one, come out, evil one. Do not harass the Tathagata. Do not harass the Tathagata's disciple, or it will lead to your harm and suffering for a long time." Then Mara, the evil one, thought, "This recluse does not know me. He does not see me when he says that. Even his teacher would not know me so soon. So how can this disciple know me?" Stop here for a moment. So here, this last part, now you can see that Mara could not believe that so fast Mahamoggallana could see that he was inside his bowels. Because he says, even his teacher, the Buddha, would not know me so soon. So how can this disciple know me? This shows that Venerable Mahamoggallana's psychic power is extremely great. Then the Venerable Mahamoggallana said, "Even thus I know you, evil one. Do not think he does not know me. You are Mara, the evil one. You are thinking thus, evil one. This recluse does not know me. He does not see me when he says that. Even his teacher would not know me so soon. So how can this disciple know me?" Then Mara, the evil one, thought, "The recluse knew me. He saw me when he said that." Whereupon he came up from the Venerable Mahamoggallana's mouth and stood against the door bar. The Venerable Mahamoggallana saw him standing there and said, "I see you there too, evil one. Do not think he does not see me. You are standing against the door bar, evil one." Stop here for a moment. So this Mara, once he came out of Venerable Mahamoggallana, he was standing against the door bar and using his psychic power, at least he was trying to use his psychic power to make himself invisible to Venerable Mahamoggallana. But because Venerable Mahamoggallana's psychic power was greater, he could still see him. And Venerable Mahamoggallana continued, "It happened once, evil one, that I was a Mara named Dusi, and I had a sister named Kali. You were her son, so you were my nephew. Now on that occasion, the Blessed One, Kakusanda, Arahant Sammasambuddha, had appeared in the world. The Blessed One, Kakusanda, Arahant Sammasambuddha, had an auspicious pair of chief disciples, named Vidura and Sanjiva. Among all the disciples of the Blessed One, Kakusanda, Arahant Sammasambuddha, there was none equal to the Venerable Vidura in teaching the Dhamma. That was how the Venerable Vidura came to have the designation Vidura." Let's stop here for a moment. This Vidura means unrivaled, incomparable. Then the Venerable Sanjiva, gone to the forest or to the root of a tree or to an empty hut, entered without difficulty upon the cessation of perception and feeling. It happened once, evil one, that the Venerable Sanjiva had seated himself at the root of a certain tree and entered upon the cessation of perception and feeling. Some cowherds, shepherds and ploughmen passing by saw the Venerable Sanjiva sitting at the root of a tree, having entered upon the cessation of perception and feeling, and they thought, "It is wonderful, sirs, it is marvelous. There is this recluse sitting here dead. Let us cremate him." Then the cowherds, shepherds and ploughmen collected grass, wood and cow dung, and having piled it up against the Venerable Sanjiva's body, they set fire to it and went on their way. Stop here for a moment. So here, when a monk enters the cessation of perception and feeling, the consciousness, all the six consciousness stops. breathing stops, the heart stops. So he appears like a dead person. That's why these people thought we'll give him a good send-off and pile all the wood on top of him and set it afire. Now evil one, when the night had ended, the Venerable Sanjiva emerged from the attainment. He shook his robe, and then it being morning, he dressed, and taking his bowl and outer robe, he went into the village for alms. The cowherds, shepherds, and ploughmen passing by saw the Venerable Sanjiva wandering for alms, and they thought, "It is wonderful, sirs, it is marvelous. This recluse who was sitting there dead has come back to life." And that was how the Venerable Sanjiva came to have the designation Sanjiva. Stop here for a moment. So apparently this word Sanjiva means come back to life. So you see, because he had entered this cessation of perception and feeling, the fire did not hurt him, did not harm him, and even his robes were not burned. That's the power of this state. Then evil one, the Maratajjaniya considered thus, "There are these virtuous monks of good character, but I do not know their coming or their going. Let me now take possession of the Brahmin householders," telling them, "Come now, abuse, revile, scold, and harass the virtuous monks of good character. Then perhaps when they are abused, reviled, scolded, and harassed by you, some change will come about in their minds, whereby the Maratajjaniya may find an opportunity." Then evil one, the Maratajjaniya, took possession of those Brahmin householders, telling them, "Come now, abuse, revile, scold, and harass the virtuous monks of good character. Then perhaps when they are abused, reviled, scolded, and harassed by you, some change will come about in their minds, whereby the Maratajjaniya may find an opportunity." Then when the Maratajjaniya had taken possession of the Brahmin householders, they abused, reviled, scolded, and harassed the virtuous monks of good character thus, "These bald-pated recluses, these swarthy menial offspring of the kinsman's feet, claim we are meditators, and with shoulders drooping, heads down, and all limp, they meditate, premeditate, out-meditate, and mismeditate." Stop here for a moment. Here, bald-pated recluses means bald-headed recluses, and swarthy means dark menial offspring of the kinsman's feet. This kinsman refers to Brahma, because this Brahmin, they say that they are offspring of Brahma. They were born from the Brahma's upper part, the head, whereas the other people are born, the other castes are born from Brahma's feet. So they look down on the others. Just as an owl on a branch waiting for a mouse meditates, premeditates, out-meditates, and mismeditates, or just as a jackal on a river bank waiting for fish meditates, premeditates, out-meditates, and mismeditates, or just as a cat by a doorpost or a dustbin or a drain waiting for a mouse meditates, premeditates, out-meditates, and mismeditates, or just as a donkey unladen standing by a doorpost or a dustbin or a drain meditates, premeditates, out-meditates, and mismeditates, so too these bald-pated recluses, these swarthy menial offspring of the kinsman's feet, claim, "We are meditators, and with shoulders drooping, heads down, and all limp, they meditate, premeditate, out-meditate, and mismeditate." Now evil one, on that occasion, most of those human beings, when they died, reappeared on the dissolution of the body after death in a state of deprivation, in an unhappy destination, in perdition, even in hell. Let's stop here for a moment. So here it's interesting to note this last part, that Mara, according to this sutta, took possession of those Brahmins and told them to revile the monks, and they did. And after that, most of them were reborn in the woeful plains of rebirth, which shows that even though Mara influenced them, but because they used their own will to do what they did, revile the monks, so they had to suffer for it. Because sometimes it's like this, sometimes when we want to do something, we have like the angel telling us to do something good, and then the Mara on the other side telling us to succumb to our temptation and do something wrong. So it's up to us to choose. We have the free will. But if you are weak, then you listen to Mara, and then you have to pay for it. Mara does not pay for it. You have to pay for it. Then the Blessed One, Kakusanda, Arahant, Samasambuddha, addressed the monks thus, Monks, the Mara Dusi has taken possession of the Brahmin householders, telling them, Come now, abuse, revile, scold, and harass the virtuous monks of good character. Then perhaps when they are abused, reviled, scolded, and harassed by you, some change will come about in their mind, whereby the Mara Dusi may find an opportunity. Come, monks, abide pervading one quarter with a mind imbued with loving kindness, likewise the second, likewise the third, likewise the fourth. So above, below, around, and everywhere, and to all as to yourselves, abide pervading the all-encompassing world with a mind imbued with loving kindness, abundant, exalted, immeasurable, without hostility and without ill will. Abide pervading one quarter with the mind imbued with compassion, with the mind imbued with joy, with the mind imbued with equanimity, abundant, exalted, immeasurable, without hostility and without ill will. So, evil one, when those monks had been thus advised and instructed by the Blessed One, Kakusanda, Arahant, Samasambuddha, then gone to the forest or to the root of a tree or to an empty hut, they abided pervading one quarter with the mind imbued with loving kindness, with the mind imbued with compassion, with the mind imbued with joy, with the mind imbued with equanimity, without hostility and without ill will. Then evil one, the Mara Dusi, considered thus, Though I do as I am doing, still I do not know the coming or the going of these virtuous monks of good character. Let me now take possession of the Brahmin householders, telling them, I stop here for a moment. So just now, the Brahmins being influenced by Mara scolded and reviled the monks. And then the monks, the Buddha taught them, instead of getting angry, give them the opposite, give them loving kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity, the four Brahma Viharas, the four divine abidings. So it's like fighting fire with water. We cannot fight anger with anger. The only way to fight it is with loving kindness, just like fire with water. Then evil one, the Mara Dusi, considered thus, Though I do as I am doing, still I do not know the coming or the going of these virtuous monks of good character. Let me now take possession of the Brahmin householders, telling them, Come now, honor, respect, revere, and venerate the virtuous monks of good character. Then perhaps when they are honored, respected, revered, and venerated by you, some change will come about in their minds, whereby the Mara Dusi may find an opportunity. Then evil one, the Mara Dusi, took possession of those Brahmin householders, telling them, Come now, honor, respect, revere, and venerate the virtuous monks of good character. Then perhaps when they are honored, respected, revered, and venerated by you, some change will come about in their minds, whereby the Mara Dusi may find an opportunity. Then when the Mara Dusi had taken possession of the Brahmin householders, they honored, respected, revered, and venerated the virtuous monks of good character. Now evil one, on that occasion, most of those human beings, when they died, reappeared on the dissolution of the body after death in a happy destination, even the heavenly world. I stop here for a moment. So here you see the reverse. The Brahmin householders are being influenced by Mara to praise and revere and venerate the monks. They did just that. And as a result of doing that, most of them after death were reborn in the heavenly world, which also shows that because they did the right thing, then they are rewarded for it. And you notice here, at first, the Mara was trying to get an opportunity, because these monks, they were meditating and having very good samadhi, they were fully in control of their mind. So because they were in control of the mind, this Mara could not influence them. So the Mara wanted to find an opportunity. So at first he made them angry. He scolded them, got the lay people to scold them. So he thought, if the monks react, that means when they are scolded, they get angry. Then when they get angry, then their concentration is lost. Then Mara can find a way to get into them. This is their weak point. But they fail. Mara fail. So now he's telling the lay people to venerate and honor the monks. So hopefully when the monks getting all this veneration, he's thinking maybe their minds are affected. They become puffed up, they become arrogant and all that. And then there is another occasion for Mara to infiltrate them. But see what the Buddha did. Then evil one, the blessed one, Kakusanda, Arahan, Sammasambuddha, addressed the monks thus. Monks, the Mara Dusi has taken possession of those Brahmin householders, telling them, come now, honor, respect, revere, and venerate the virtuous monks of good character. Then perhaps when they are honored, respected, revered, and venerated by you, some change will come about in their minds, whereby the Mara Dusi may find an opportunity. Come monks, abide contemplating foulness in the body, perceiving repulsiveness in nutriment, perceiving disenchantment with all the world, contemplating impermanence in all volitions. So evil one, when those monks had been thus addressed and instructed by the Blessed One, Kakusanda, Arahan, Sammasambuddha, then gone to the forest or to the root of a tree or to an empty hut, they abided contemplating foulness in the body, perceiving repulsiveness in nutriment, perceiving disenchantment with all the world, contemplating impermanence in all volitions. Stop here for a moment. So here the Buddha is teaching his monks not to be influenced by all the honor and veneration and to perceive repulsiveness and disenchantment with the world, seeing everything as impermanent, so not to be attached to anything. So in which case, again, Mara could not move their minds. Then when it was morning, the Blessed One, Kakusanda, Arahan, Sammasambuddha, dressed and taking his bowl and outer robe, he went into the village for alms with the Venerable Vidura as his attendant. Then the Mara Dusi took possession of a certain boy, and picking up a stone, he struck the Venerable Vidura on the head with it and cut his head. With blood running from his cut head, the Venerable Vidura followed close behind the Blessed One, Kakusanda, Arahan, Sammasambuddha. Then the Blessed One, Kakusanda, Arahan, Sammasambuddha, turned around and looked at him with the elephant look. This Mara Dusi knows no bounds. And with that look, the evil one, Mara Dusi, fell from that place and reappeared in the great hell. Now, evil one, there are three names for the great hell: the hell of the 6 bases for contact, the hell of the impalement with stakes, and the hell to be felt for oneself. Then, evil one, the wardens of hell came up to me and said, "Good sir, when stake meets stake in your heart, then you will know I have been roasting in hell for 1,000 years. Now, stop here for a moment. So here you see, Mara got so frustrated, he could not influence the minds of the monks, that when the Buddha Kakusanda went on Pindapata with his disciple Vidura, he entered a boy and picked up a stone and knocked the Venerable Vidura so hard on the head that the blood was running, a lot of blood was running down. But in spite of the cut head and all the blood running down, you see this Venerable Vidura, being such a tame person, he still followed close behind the Buddha on Pindapat. So when you go on Pindapat, don't walk too far away. Always walk behind the senior monk. So you see, the Buddha Kakusanda, he thought this Mara has gone too far already. So he turned around and the whole body turn around, just like an elephant. An elephant cannot just turn the neck around when he wants to see behind. The whole body got to turn around. It's called the this elephant look. So the Buddha turned his whole body around and stared at Mara, and with that, Mara just died and reappeared in the great hell. This one is like the other day we heard about this Sachaka, this boaster, debater who went to argue with the Buddha, and then the Buddha asked him the question, he could not answer. Asked him a second time, he refused to answer, and the Buddha told him, if you don't answer the third time, your head will be smashed into 7 pieces. And then he saw this Deva with a thunderbolt ready to smash his head. So the implication is that if he continues, refuses to answer, his head will be smashed. So in the same way, the Buddha Kakusanda turned around, and when he stared at Mara, he was like telling Mara, that's enough, don't do any more. But because Mara was so stubborn, still wanted to annoy the Buddha and his disciples, so he died immediately and went to hell. So in this case, can you say the Buddha is not compassionate? You have to think for yourself. So you see, when he went into this great hell, there's a description of it in some other sutta. He's impaled with 5 stakes. And these stakes go through his body. So he's told, when stake meets stake in your heart, these 2 iron bars will slowly enter his body. He cannot move and keep entering his body. When the 2 stakes meet at his heart, then you'll know you've been here for 1,000 years. For many a year, evil one, for many a century, for many a millennium, I roasted in that great hell. For 10 millennia, I roasted in the auxiliary of the great hell, experiencing the feeling called that of emergence from ripening. My body had the same form as a human body, evil one, but my head had the form of a fish's head. What can hell be well compared to, wherein Dusi roasted, assailant of Vidura, the disciple, and the Brahmin Kakusanda, stakes of steel, even 100, each one suffered separately. These can hell be well compared to, wherein Dusi roasted, assailant of Vidura, the disciple, and the Brahmin Kakusanda. Dark one, you have much to suffer by assaulting such a monk, an enlightened one's disciple, who directly knows this fact. In the middle of the ocean there are mansions aeon-lasting, sapphire shining, fiery gleaming, where with a clear translucent luster, where iridescent sea nymphs dance in complex intricate rhythms. Dark one, you have much to suffer, who directly knows this fact. I am one who, when exhorted by the enlightened one in person, shook Migara's mother's palace with his toe, the Sangha watching. Dark one, you have much to suffer, who directly knows this fact. I am one who, wielding firmly strength of supernormal powers, shook all Vijayanta palace with his toe to incite the gods. Dark one, you have much to suffer, who directly knows this fact. I am one who in that palace posed to Saka this question. Do you know then, friend, deliverance due to cravings full destruction? Whereupon Saka then answered, truly to the question asked him, Dark one, you have much to suffer, who directly knows this fact. I am one who thought of posing Brahma this question in Sudama hall in heaven. Is there still found in you, friend, the wrong view you once accepted? Is the radiance of heaven clearly seen by you as passing? Brahma then answered my question truthfully and in due sequence. There is found in me no longer, sir, the wrong view that once I held. All the radiance of heaven I now clearly see as passing. I disclaim my prior claim that it is permanent, eternal. Dark one, you have much to suffer, who directly knows this fact. I am one who, by liberation, has touched the peak of Mount Simaru, visited India and Puba Videha, and all the regions of the earth. Dark one, you have much to suffer by assaulting such a monk, an enlightened one's disciple who directly knows this fact. There has never been found a fire which intends, let me burn the fool. But a fool who assaults a fire burns himself by his own doing. So it is with you, O Mara. By assaulting the Tathagata, like a fool who plays with fire, you only burn yourself alone. By assaulting the Tathagata, you generate much demerit. Evil one, do you imagine that your evil will not ripen? Doing thus, you store up much evil which will last long, O end maker. Mara, shun the enlightened one, play no more your tricks on monks. So the monk chastened Mara in the Besakala thicket, whereupon the somber spirit disappeared right there and there. So this sutta, Mahamoggallana is telling this Mara that he himself, Venerable Mahamoggallana, once was Mara Dusi, and he did annoy the Buddha Kakusanda and his disciples, and as a result he went to hell and suffered for a long time.